Baby Reindeer: How Police Could Have Prevented Martha's Stalking from Getting Worse. Receiving a cryptic email from a stranger you've met once at a bar might be weird, but when the messages start getting frequent, obsessive, and borderline threatening, you might be dealing with a stalker. This is the premise of Scottish actor and comedian Richard Gadd's popular Netflix show Baby Reindeer. It tells the story of Donnie, a fictionalized version of himself. Baby Reindeer illustrates the harrowing details of how Donnie's stalker, Martha, insidiously invaded various aspects of his life, first stalking him online incessantly, then turning up to where he lives uninvited, then harassing his friends, girlfriend, and family, and eventually violently assaulting them. Baby Reindeer has sparked a wave of interest in stalking behavior, especially between male victims and female perpetrators. However, this fascination is not new, as seen in popular TV shows like You or Ripley that portray stalking in different, at times glamorous, ways. What is common in these shows is that the police are always one step behind, failing to take appropriate action. When Donnie first goes to the police station, he shows an email from Martha to a police officer who, unconcerned, says they do not find it particularly threatening, and asks why it took Donnie 6 months to come forward. It was only later when Donnie pleaded with the officer to look up Martha on the database as a repeated offender that the police start taking the case more seriously. Damage, however, had already been done, both physically and mentally, assessing the risk of stalking. However, what if police had a procedure to deal with stalking cases when they first arise? What if they had an in-house forensic psychologist or threat assessment specialist who could advise them on what to do? Could police departments manage stalking better than those in the show? When dealing with a case of stalking, an officer should first consider the concept of risk. In other words, the likelihood a person would commit acts of stalking, why, who they are targeting, when, and with what consequences. Risk assessments, such as the Guidelines for Stalking Assessment and Management, SAM, offer a semi-structured way to assess factors that increase the risk of stalking. SAM was designed for use by law enforcement and other professionals that deal with public safety. SAM consists of 30 risk factors divided into 3 categories: the nature of stalking, perpetrator risk factors, and victim vulnerability factors. There are other risk assessments that are used to assess the risk of stalking, but the SAM is one of the most widely used in Canada. Examining Martha's stalking. What might have happened if police used SAM in Baby Reindeer? We decided to find out. We identified 2 risk factors from each category, providing examples from the show. In Baby Reindeer, Martha's stalking is persistent and escalates. Her messages increase in frequency, intensity, and severity over time. We also see her stalking become more diverse, as she follows Donnie to different places. Greater frequency and duration of stalking are associated with more intrusive and violent behavior. What begins as Martha showing up to the pub during Donnie's shifts turns into her showing up hours before his shifts, sending him dozens of emails a day, harassing his ex-girlfriend, and assaulting Terry, his then-partner. A perpetrator. Martha is both obsessive and irrational. Perhaps the best example of her obsessiveness is her unrelenting waiting at the bus stop outside Donnie's home. Martha also holds grossly distorted beliefs about her relationship with Donnie and is seemingly unable to get her mind around the idea that she and Donnie are not dating. Erotomanic delusions may decrease the risk of harm, as the stalker tends not to perceive the victim as a threat. However, Martha also exhibits delusional jealousy and other forms of distorted thinking that, when combined with her obsessiveness, become problematic. Regarding victim vulnerability factors, Donnie exhibits inconsistent attitudes and behavior towards Martha. While he occasionally is assertive with Martha, he also sends her mixed messages. By giving in to some of her requests, Donnie inadvertently reinforced Martha's behavior and subsequently the persistent and escalating nature of her stalking. In the coffee shop, after Martha grabs his arm violently and yells, Donnie follows her home and is seen by her looking through her window. This gives Martha the idea he is interested in her. He also accepts Martha's friend request on Facebook despite seeing her past criminal charges. Ambiguous responses on the victim's part are open to misinterpretation by the perpetrator. What could police have done? To prevent Martha from stalking Donnie and others in the future, police could have employed management strategies based on relevant risk factors beyond merely supervising her in the community. Police could have used Sam's assessment of risk factors to determine the risk of the stalker. This could have been done in consultation with a psychologist who is familiar with risk assessments or a threat assessment specialist. When Donnie first reported her stalking, police could have 1. Implemented monitoring strategies for Martha. 2. Facilitated access to treatment for Martha. 3. Created a victim safety plan for Donnie. Police can also consult forensic psychologists to assess and manage the risk of stalking behavior. The lack of police action in Baby Reindeer serves as a reminder of the overwhelming impact of stalking and why it's important to communicate with victims in a trauma-informed and empathic manner. Behavior that seems unremarkable at first might bear significance upon further investigation. When it comes to stalking, it's prudent not to discard the victim's narrative and experience, even if it appears inconsistent or mundane. This article was co-authored by Samuel Fries, a master's student in clinical psychology at Simon Fraser University. Thanks for watching these videos. Please hit the subscribe button for more update news.